In Venezuela, the government dismantled a new terrorist plan after the arrest of people linked to far-right groups. Central American countries commemorate on this September 14th 203 years of independence from Spanish colonialism. And the Palestinian government called on the international community to increase humanitarian aid to protect 2 million civilian refugees in Gaza after the arrival of winter. Hello, welcome from the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the TeleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Venezuela, the government dismantled a new terrorist plan after the arrest of people linked to far-right groups. Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello announced the detention of citizens who had the objective of generating violence and destabilizing the country. In this sense, the official pointed out that the investigations indicate that those arrested were communicating through social media in which they planned assassinations against Venezuelan state officials. Cabello also pointed out that within the framework of the operation, they managed to seize some 400 weapons that entered the country illegally through courier companies.
El gobierno de los Estados Unidos no está ajeno a esta operación. No está ajeno.
The government of the United States is no stranger to this operation. You should remember the threats that have been made against us. In addition, there has been the assassination of some people in other countries. That relates to this. Behind this arms trafficking operation, there is a nefarious character, this Mr. Ivan Simonovich. He knows perfectly well what I am talking about.
And in Venezuela, during an exclusive interview for our international multi-platform TeleSUR, the Minister of Interior, Justice and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, announced the arrest of a special SEAL operator of the U.S. Armed Forces who had the objective of executing destabilizing plans in the country.
It was predictable. I already said during the press briefing that Spain was going to say that they had nothing to do with this because this gentleman, Wilber Joseph Castañeda, is the head. But in a way, he was going to be using mercenaries. We have a first-hand information where a person is saying that he was contacted by the Spanish intelligence service and he gave us the whole plan. These people, when they're detained at the first, they didn't say a thing, but then they admitted to be part of the Spanish intelligence service. And Spain, of course, are going to say no, that they are not. It's logical. But remember, a few days back, the defense minister of Spain, in an event that had nothing to do with politics, but in the presentation of a book, she came out and accused of barbarities. That person is confessing her active participation and has connection with political groups and Castañeda. They have connection also with criminal bands here in Venezuela. Because part of the connection that this man was going to have, Castañeda, were through criminal groups to execute the operations.
Similarly, the Minister of Interior, Justice and Peace emphasized that Spain will deny any involvement in terrorist attempts despite the fact that among those arrested are 2 members of the Spanish National Intelligence Center.
It is important to know that what we are talking about today, we have talked about it and we have denounced it, is just one part. They know, the Spanish intelligence service knows that we know more.
And it's not dismantled entirely, the operation?
No, the operation is not dismantled. We are on that process. We are dismantling the process. We told the world that we seized 400 rifles. This in Spain will be a big news. And Spain has to do with this. They are leading this operation. Spain, how can we say this? Spain is the one that was going to supply all the mercenaries to carry out this operation, the foreign mercenaries. So we can say that for days we have been working on the borders and we've captured them. And when we name these people, it's because these are ones that are confessing.
And Venezuela's Minister of the Interior, Justice and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, has confirmed the country's security services are gradually dismantling the offensive operation launched against Venezuela by the United States and its European allies.
You're asking, behind this operation is Miss Marina Corina Machado. She's leading the operation in the States, and the fight over in the States is fighting who is going to control the operation against Venezuela between Marina and Leopoldo. So they are seeing who is going to control it, the bands, the mafias. You also have Julio Borges, mentioned by them. There is a lady also known as La Niña, Belén Salas, that we have on pictures with Juan Pablo Antonas Guanipa. These are not photoshops. She has it on her phone. It's public knowledge. They, even within this operation, they had planned to kill a mayor, the mayor of Upata, that has links with two Spanish men. And we have Mr. Chancellor as the contact from the Bolivar state, because the Bolivar state is like an objective because of the amount of companies and workers that they have.
In addition, Diosdado Cabello informed that after the interrogation it was possible to deduce that the leader of the Venezuelan far-right, Maria Corina Machado, and the fugitive from justice, Leopoldo Lopez, are the ones heading the operation and are in dispute for the political leadership of their organizations.
See, it is important to say that nothing happens without the leadership of the U.S. government, because the U.S. government is leading all this through the CIA. We have no doubt of this. In the United States, Ivan Simonovic operates in the States. He's an arms dealer. He doesn't work for anything else but for weapons, for trafficking weapons. He does. And he has link with mafias in America and criminals that he supplies them with weapons. We presented videos, and we have more videos, more evidence, where we can see the FBI doing inventory of the area where they were sending the weapons to Venezuela, and they didn't do a thing. So why is the U.S. territory being used for these kinds of operations of killing a head of state, of a vice president of a foreign nation, of other officials to create a coup d'etat? Why does the States allow this? But I can guarantee that from a few moments from now, the U.S. will say they had nothing to do, and Mr. Castañeda will have to figure it out for himself. And of course, we are respecting Castañeda's human rights, but he's talking everything that we need him to talk about, and he's providing details that at some moment we're going to make public.
Let's now take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Central American countries commemorate on this September 14th 203 years of independence from Spanish colonialism. In El Salvador, citizens celebrate independence with armed forces, the national police, and other social sectors parades. The official festivity in San Salvador will take place in Gerardo Barrio Square in front of the National Palace. At the same time, Guatemala joins the festivity with the traditional lighting of torches to illuminate the city squares. Costa Rica is holding civic events, including workshops, concerts, and parades. And Nicaragua also held activities in honor of the signing of independence and to celebrate the heroes of the nation. This Sunday, Hondurans celebrated the 203rd anniversary of their independence with parades and events. The celebration began early in the morning with the solemn hoisting of the national flag in the Plaza de las Banderas. President Xiomara Castro presided over the ceremony. Meanwhile, on the Juan Alaines Hill, the Honduran Armed Forces carried out the traditional salute to the homeland with the firing of 21 cannon shots. Likewise, educational institutions carried out the traditional parade in honor of the country's independence. Hondurans reaffirmed the decision to break free from the domination imposed by the Spanish crown against the country. And in Romania, 4 people have died due to floods triggered by the storm Boris, which has brought torrential rains and widespread disruption. According to Romanian President Klaus Iohannis, Europe is once again facing the effects of climate change and its dramatic consequences. He also reiterated the need to be better prepared in such cases. So far, 4 bodies have been found in the worst-hit region of Romania, Galati, in the southeast, where 5,000 homes have been damaged. In addition, hundreds of people have been rescued in 19 parts of the country. Meanwhile, in Poland, the government warned that the situation could be most difficult in the southwest. Authorities closed the govt border crossing with the Czech Republic after a river overflowed its banks, closed several roads and halted trains on the line between the towns of Prudnik and Nisa. In the nearby village of Lasy, residents laid sandbags outside their homes as water from the Biala River flooded the town's streets. Torrential rain is expected to continue until Monday, threatening the region with the worst flooding in Poland for decades. On the other hand, in the Czech Republic, around 100,000 firefighters have been mobilized since nearly 2,900 incidents were recorded on Friday, most of them caused by falling trees and flooding. According to Czech electricity company SES, nearly 50,000 homes were without power on Saturday. A hospital in the southeastern city of Brno was also evacuated on Saturday morning. Environment Minister Petr Hladík said on X that as the ground is now saturated, all rainwater will remain on the surface, so residents will be offered bags of sand to shore up their homes. We now have come for a second short break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at TeleSUR English. There you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Fun short break, don't go away. Welcome back. The Palestinian government called on the international community to increase humanitarian aid to protect 2 million civilian refugees in Gaza after the arrival of winter. According to the Palestinian authorities, some 100,000 of the 135,000 tents sheltering these people need immediate replacement because they are very worn out. These tents are made of wood, nylon, and cloth and have lost their strength due to the heat of the sun and the weather conditions in the Gaza Strip and the constant attacks by the Israeli troops. The Palestinian government media office warned that the territory is on the brink of a humanitarian catastrophe due to the onset of winter and the difficult weather conditions, and urged the world, and especially Arab countries, to provide tents to the people of Gaza. And also in Palestine, the Israeli troops have attacked a second school in Gaza in less than 48 hours. Israel bombed the Martyrs of Al-Zaytun school, killing 5 people, including 2 children. Previously had attacked the Arkham school in the northwest of the Gaza Strip, where another 5 civilians were killed. The operation continues in the vicinity of another school in Shuhayaya, where 11 people were killed in a residence. According to international law, bombing school is a war crime. It is important to note that Israel does this at the beginning of the school year, as the surviving parents try to encourage their children to go to school. And in Palestine, for the last 9 months, Israel has killed more than 41,000 Palestinians and injured 14,632 others during incursions into the Gaza Strip. The United Nations Humanitarian Affairs Coordination denounced that in this same period, the Israeli settlers demolished at least 2,107 structures in the occupied territories as a result of its expansionist policy and constant aggressions. More than 6,299 Palestinians were forced to abandon their homes and lands. In this regard, the UN agency rejected the increase in number of Israeli attacks against Palestinian settlements. In other news, in Belarus, the armies of Russia and Ukraine carried out an exchange of prisoners under the mediation of the United Arab Emirates. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, 103 prisoners from each side were exchanged. Currently, former prisoners are in Belarus, where they receive the necessary psychological and medical assistance and have the opportunity to contact their relatives. The soldiers will travel to Russia, where they will receive treatment and rehabilitation in Russian medical centers. The Defense Ministry stressed that the United Arab Emirates made humanitarian mediation efforts during the return of the Russian servicemen. In Bhutan, people celebrate Buddhist TeleSUR festival with costume and mask dances. These festivities is held annually to honor Tibetan Buddhism and its lineage, which is widely practiced in Bhutan. Thousands of Bhutanese wear colorful dresses for the occasion and gather at Tashikcho Tsong Buddhist Monastery in the kingdom's capital, Thimphu. The festival starts off in the morning with a ritual ceremony, prayers, climaxes, and masked dances called Sham. This is an opportunity for citizens and tourists who gather to watch, socialize, and have lunch together.
And TeleSUR is a celebration where everybody comes together. It's a national holiday. It's a huge display of Bhutanese culture and tradition. We get to see some sacred marks dance, Bhutanese dance, singing, music, everything there. And people gather here with their families. They take out the best dress out of the wardrobe.
And we're visiting Bhutan for the first time. And we were drawn to Bhutan for its country and its culture and its beauty. And mainly we heard that Bhutan was the happiest place on earth.
Like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website, telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.